We recently got a new Blackstone griddle, so today, let's make some chicken fajitas. First, we'll need to make our fajita seasoning blend. You'll start with 2 tablespoons plus 2 teaspoons of chili powder, 4 teaspoons of smoked paprika, 2 teaspoons of granulated onion, 2 teaspoons of granulated garlic, 1 tablespoon of white sugar, a half teaspoon of cayenne pepper, 2 teaspoons of Mexican oregano, and 4 teaspoons of ground cumin. You'll also want to add in some salt and pepper, about a half to 1 teaspoon of salt, and a half teaspoon of ground black pepper. You'll want to mix this all together. It can be stored in a cool, dark place, covered for up to 6 months. And this makes about a half cup of seasoning blend, which is enough to marinate 6 to 8 pounds of the protein of your choice. Next, we're going to want to prepare our vegetables for our fajitas. You'll need 2 onions. I like to cut them in half and then cut off the fibrous ends and peel off any excess skin before slicing into 1/2 inch thick slices. I follow along the curvature of the onion at about a 45-degree angle, and about halfway through, I'll turn the onion over back on its side and continue the rest of the way. You want to do that for both your onions. Next, you'll want to prepare your peppers. I'm using 3 bell peppers, a red, yellow, and green, purely for aesthetics. You can choose whichever you would prefer. There are plenty of different ways to cut a bell pepper. My preferred method is to slice off the top and then using my knife, follow the curvature of the pepper and leave the center membrane and seeds intact. You'll then want to cut those strips of bell pepper into 1/2 inch thick slices. So then your onions and your peppers will be able to cook evenly when you're preparing your fajitas. Now that we've prepared our fajita blend and our vegetables, it's time to get our proteins marinated. You can literally do any protein of your choice, whether it be tofu, seafood, chicken, fish, beef. Today I'm going to use chicken. So in a 1-gallon plastic Ziploc bag, you want to add 2 pounds of chicken, 3 tablespoons lime juice, 2 tablespoons of cooking oil, and 3 tablespoons of fajita spice blend. Once you're done, you'll want to close your bag up and kind of mush it around to evenly coat everything. You'll want to marinate this for at least 30 minutes or up to 2 hours. Citrus juice tends to break down proteins, which can make it quite tender, but if you leave it too long, it'll end up turning your protein a little bit mushy. If you end up doing something like shrimp or fish, I would say only marinate it about 10 minutes before you're planning on cooking, because citruses can really break down seafood proteins. But on the other hand, if you decide to use tofu, feel free to marinate up to 8 to 12 hours before cooking. You'll also want to season a little bit of your vegetables. I do about a tablespoon of cooking oil and about a spoon or 2 of the fajita blend and kind of just mix that all up and let it sit. Once your vegetables and your proteins have marinated, it's time to get cooking. I preheat my Blackstone griddle on medium-high for 10 to 15 minutes. After that, I apply a thin coating of high-heat cooking oil. Avocado and corn oil are some really good options. And then I have my onions and peppers on one side of the griddle and my proteins to the other. You'll probably need about 8 to 12 minutes, depending on how crisp you like your vegetables, and about 10 to 15 minutes for chicken. If you end up using something like beef or shrimp, it might take less time because it doesn't need to cook as long. Chicken tends to need to be at least an internal temperature of 165 degrees. When it's just about done, I like to mix it all together so all the flavors meld nicely. These fajitas can be served alongside your favorite tortillas or a great topping for salad. Enjoy.